let me conclude what happened. Did the Israelis win? Did Hamas win? Israel failed to destroy Hamas. Israel had several stated public military objectives in Gaza. One of them was to destroy Hamas. They failed. The other was to disarm Hamas. They also failed. They wanted to destroy Hamas infrastructure, the so-called terror tunnels. They failed. They wanted to liberate Israeli captives by force. They also failed. Okay? Not only that, but they also lost public opinion, right? They also delayed normalization with the Arab world, okay, with the crime families that have been installed by Britain and America. And Hamas not only succeeded in getting thousands of Palestinians freed from the Israeli rape dungeons, which was the goal since day one, right? Like when you take people hostage, the point is to use them as bargaining chips. Why? Because you want to liberate your own people, right? That was the idea. I'm not agreeing or condoning or condemning it. This is an objective, logical conclusion, right? You take hostages because you want something. So what did Hamas want? They wanted to get thousands of Palestinians out of Israeli rape dungeons. Did they succeed in that? Yes, they did, because we saw that today. The swap happened today. So Hamas succeeded in that. Moreover, Hamas succeeded in not only liberating all those Palestinians, but in isolating Israel. Okay, so listen, look at this speech, this clip of Yahya Sinwar and what he says. This is exactly what happened.
إنه خلال أشهر محدودة أنا تقديري أنها لن تزيد على العام أن نجعل الاحتلال أمام خيارين. إما أن نرغم بتطبيق القانون الدولي واحترام القرارات الدولية والانسحاب من الضفة والقدس وتفكيك المستوطنات وإطلاق سراح الأسرى وعودة اللاجئين، إما أن نرغم نحن والعالم على هذه الأمور ونحقق إقامة دولة فلسطينية على الأراضي المحتلة عام 67 بما فيها القدس، أو أن نجعل هذا الاحتلال في حالة تناقض وتصادم مع الإرادة الدولية كلها ونعزله عزلا عنيفا شديدا وننهي حالة اندماجه في المنطقة وفي العالم كله وحالة الانهيار التي حدثت في كل جبهات المقاومة وفي كل جبهات اللاءات التي كانت خلال السنوات الماضية.
Is that not exactly what happened? They have placed Israel in a state of complete, utter contradiction with public opinion, with global public opinion, with international law. For the first time in history, we've seen anti-Zionism at its peak. We've seen Israel dragged before an international tribunal. Extraordinary, right? This is groundbreaking. This is unprecedented stuff. So this is one of the big strategic victories that Hamas achieved. Again, this is a purely objective conclusion, right? Even Israelis themselves will tell you this stuff, that Israel's image has been tarnished. Israel has been turned into a pariah state. Yes, you have these war criminals gathering in Sharm el-Sheikh and dancing to Trump's tune and walking around like a bunch of court jesters. That doesn't mean anything. Their own populations, the world population, has been completely and utterly turned against Zionism. This is a fact. This is a fact. This is why the Israelis are scrambling to get CBS to put this cockroach Barry Weiss in charge by TikTok, etc., right? Now, what about the Israeli victories? Did the Israelis achieve anything? Yes, they did. They achieved a partial genocide, and we don't even know if it's over yet. It could very well resume tomorrow morning. They succeeded in weakening Hamas, but not defeating it. They killed Yahya Sinwar. They killed Haniyeh. They killed Hamad al-Daif. They succeeded in weakening Hezbollah. They killed Nasrallah. They killed Fuad Shukr. They succeeded in toppling Bashar al-Assad. They destroyed Syria. They cut off the main supply route to Hezbollah. And we might see Israel succeed at stealing Gaza's resources and Gaza's land. This deal that has just been, we've just seen phase one of it carried out. It has other phases. And those phases mention so-called redevelopment. We're seeing vultures like Donald Trump, like Jared Kushner swooping in. That means that they're probably going to pick the meat off of Gaza's bones. They're going to start, installing this Riviera, building this Riviera that they've talked about, which is basically a giant Ponzi scheme. It's just a land grab, right? So they can make a quick buck, like the sleazy thieves that they are. Not to mention the mini documentary that I did in October 2023, where I talked about the Ben Gurion Canal. We could very well see that being built. They are probably going to take Lebanon and Syria's gas, as well as Gaza's gas on the Mediterranean shore. So this is in the Leviathan Basin. All of this is still possible entirely. And they might even get away with framing it as peace, right? As some sick PR stunt. And like I said, the war is maybe not over. This genocide is maybe not over. The Israelis have never acted or negotiated in good faith. And as a matter of fact, speaking of bad faith, you've seen Katz, Israel Katz, the defense minister, on Twitter yesterday talking about getting the IDF to go in and dismantle all of the Hamas tunnels. So they are openly talking about planned ceasefire violations. So I don't think it's over. And by no means this is going to bring any stability. So is it a stalemate in that case? Is it a draw? Is it a loss for both sides? Or is there no clear victor? I can't tell. I mean, like right now at this juncture, we haven't reached something where, there's no going back and it's a point of no return. We haven't crossed that threshold yet. But I think Israel's public image this was necessary for Zionism to start crumbling, right? Now you might be thinking, well, Israel's public image, what's the point of that crumbling if on the ground, materially speaking, physically, literally, they are still getting away with killing people and stealing land and destroying buildings, and they still occupy 58% of Gaza. Sure, but the weapons that Israel uses to do those things, all of its material gains and resources come from the West, where public opinion is failing. So, you could make an argument that actually that is the first step necessary in order to deprive them of those material resources. Again, only time will tell. But I wouldn't call it a stalemate. I would say that this has been concluded. Like I said, if you just look at the stated objectives of both sides, the Israelis failed in every single one of their stated objectives, and Hamas succeeded in every single one of them, in getting hostages released by force and in isolating Israel on the international stage. So just objectively speaking, purely from a neutral standpoint, it's a victory for Hamas, right? Is that going to lead to dismantling of the occupation, Palestinian refugees getting their land back, Zionism being defeated? That I don't know. But I don't think that Trump going to Sharm el-Sheikh and the Knesset and putting on this whole circus is necessarily going to lead to, Netanyahu holding back. The Americans just tug the leash a bit. Israel is their attack dog, and they just tug the leash a bit. That's it. Did Trump sound like he was reprimanding Netanyahu or Israel? For a second, did he sound like he was angry or reprimanding them? Not even a bit. You couldn't even, try and make that misinterpretation. Not at all. There's no regret. There's no scolding. Nothing. Right? He just tugged the leash. That's it. But that is a rabid attack dog. That's what it's designed to do. Okay? And its master is very happy with its behavior. There's no problem with that behavior. It supports and encourages and enables that behavior. So do not trust either of them for 1 second. Donald Trump and Netanyahu are sleazebags, okay? They are cut from the same cloth. Don't trust them for 1 second.